Hello YouTube, I'm Dale, and today we're gonna be watching Are Women Freakier Than Men? And I would like to say, yes, they are. Enjoy!
I fear I need a man.
Hi, my name's Amber.
Yeah.
I'm passing the phone to somebody who needs to get laid. It's me. I need to get laid.
There's an innocent girl looking for the smuttiest book she can find. What is this audio even? I need right now. I know. Why would you even post stuff like this? Yo, what happened to shame in people? Why would you post stuff like this on the internet? Ayo.
I just need something.
Shop, kangaroo shop,
Me wanting to have Shreks 24/7.
kangaroo shop, kangaroo shop.
Her always ready to fix my bratty attitude. When the tentacle monster wants you to bear his What? Bro, I'm starting getting concerned for them. Maybe they just need help. Maybe they just need some help, okay? Maybe they just need some help. Okay. But what is this? Why are they so horny? Why are you so horny? And you're showing your face. And you're so horny. Oh my god. Listen, I believe everyone is horny from time to time, right? But please, don't post stuff like this with your face on it. Imagine your future employer gonna see this, okay? You want to get employed, you want to get a job, and your boss is seeing it. Oh my god, I would be so embarrassed. I'm so sorry.
Few things have captivated men more than the allure and mystery of the female sex drive. It really is just the Pandora's box of the world. The Pandora's... I was gonna say Pandora's bussy. Don't do that, Lauren. Truly the Pandora's box of the world that has beckoned many a question since the dawn of time. Questions such as, how do I get that? How can I have that? And can I have the booba? Ooga. Which eventually...
But that's a fair question. That is one of the most fair questions I ever had. How can I have the booba? I think that's not the best Reese line, but next time. So, in a few months, probably, if I will go to another date with a woman, I'm gonna ask them, how can I have booba?
Leads to other questions like, how often does she like this? Which parts about this does she like the most? And what else do we both like? But I've realized a lot of guys avoid asking questions about this stuff because they think to themselves, there's no way that any girl is going to be interested in the stuff that I want to try. And the reason a lot of women aren't asking these questions is because, well, women just don't initiate sexually. Not as much as men, which we should.
Oh, if I remember right, it kind of comes from the biology that a female can down. If something is going on already, then they can get horny. But it's kind of rarer for them to just randomly get horny, if I remember right. Listen, the more you know, the more you know. I did my research on the females. I'm saying this like I'm an incel. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, guys. But I did my research. Okay. You must know. Everything. And also, just communicating with your second order is probably the best idea ever. You know, if you want to do some fiku-miku on the bed or something, you just need to ask them, what do they want? What do they prefer? The more questions, the better, in my opinion, you know. I will be the one giving all of you relationship advice. I'm so sorry, but I'm loving the idea. Of the forever alone nerd from the internet giving you relationship advice. It's okay. Listen. You just need to communicate. You just need to ask them. And you need to just keep doing stuff and then ask them if they truly like it or if you need to change anything. But sometimes if you're gonna ask them if they like it, they can say yes just to not make you sad. So we need to ask them then should I improve something? Maybe you would like something a bit different. Okay. Listen, the coach doesn't play the game. The coach is here. Alright, and to teach you all. I'm having way too much fun with it tonight, okay? I went to one date with women. Now I am the coach in this game.
Good, we strongly benefit from it, but that's a conversation for another time. For now, we don't. Many women do have dark, dirty, salacious desires, but we keep them to ourselves. We keep them nice and bottled up to stay ladylike and just impatiently wait for the day that a kind young man comes along, shows us his tender heart, and then gently chokeslams us into the bed. Oh yes, it's true, boys. Girls can be gooners too.
Oh my god, I need to say it. I never saw women being really freaky before I downloaded TikTok. Because sometimes TikTok will give you some first trope, I think that's how we pronounce it. You know, either a woman dancing in a suggestive way or a male with his chest out or something like this, okay? And listen, all you need to do is to find a random TikTok like this, okay? And look at the comments, and then you're gonna see how thirsty women can get. It's always kind of crazy for me. But at this point, I started enjoying just reading the comments under this kind of posts. And also, it kind of reminds me as well of the entire situation of how TikTok was behaving around the Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't know if you guys know the memes about it. When the women were actually typing down the color of the tip, the base of everything with a bit too much precision. It's always kind of confusing, and I would say it's kind of scary to me.
Yeah, cause girls is
Gooners.
too.
If you're as internet brained as I am, you may have actually seen a video from fellow YouTuber Shoe on Head called Female Gooners Must Be Stopped. In this piece of absolute cinema, Shoe covers the darkest dredges of female goonery. You will never look at Highland cows the same again. But that's actually not what we're going to talk about today. Today we're going to be covering just regular goonery. Your average goblin time. Just your standard unholy bedroom activities. And we're going to ask a very important question. Are women as kinky as men? Is it possible that in some areas they may actually be kinkier?
Definitely! That's what I learned from TikTok. Definitely they can be!
And what are women's top reported sexual fantasies? We are going to get
Okay, from my life, I would guess threesome. I'm so sorry. The amount of times women were proposing a threesome to me is actually crazy. I didn't knew it's so socially acceptable to propose it to random people. But apparently it is socially acceptable. I don't know why.
Deep into this topic's guts. But first, we're gonna have to start at first base. There is actually one necessary centerpiece that exists in every fantasy women have. It's actually the heart and soul of all things intimate. And it's pretty simple. Not smelling like ass. See, bad breath doesn't care how many sacrifices you've made for your wife, how much you earn, how tall you are, or whether or not you were an Eagle Scout. It comes for us all indiscriminately. See, I can teach you a lot about what women are attracted to, what they desire, what revs their engine, but sometimes the only difference between she's flirting and she's stepping back is your mouth being a crime scene. That's why I'm excited that today
Not gonna even lie. It can be just the base hygiene. Because it might be a kinda, more serious topic or something. But most of the women I know smell absolutely amazing. They always smell fresh or they always have some perfume on them. They put a lot of emphasis on how do they smell and how do they look as well. Like, it doesn't matter if they're just going outside to get some grocery shopping. They always do some makeup, do the hair, do everything. It's crazy to me. I'm too lazy for this kind of stuff. But then I think women usually just want kinda the same stuff from men. You know, just to I feel like for most women, the standard for them is for the men to put as much effort into their look or into how do they smell as they do. I think it's kind of simple like this, you know? So just shower, put on the deodorant, put on some perfume, and you're gonna be fine. Bro, if you're gonna smell amazing, I can say you will get chicks. Though the code strikes again. Ah!
Today's video is sponsored by Breath Death, the brand behind Crystal Breath, exploding mint crystals that kill bad breath on impact and take your confidence to the next level. These aren't your average mints or gum. There's no endless chewing, no fake ingredients, no perfume masking. Crystal Breath dissolves in seconds and actually kills bad breath at the source. Powered by zinc, these mints attack sulfur compounds in your mouth that cause the stink. So you're not just covering it up, you're killing it. And it keeps you clinically fresh for up to 4 hours, so your mouth isn't just waiting around to be caught with its pants down. They're all natural, fast-acting, 0 calories, dentist-approved, and pack a powerful peppermint punch that you will not be able to get enough of.
Bro, that sounds so good for people in depression. I know it's a random thought, okay? But you know, when it's really hard to get outside of the bed, and it's really even hard to brush your teeth, that sounds like such a lifesaver. You can just have it like near you. You need to have some human interactions or something, or you just need one to take, you know, a bit better care of their hygiene, mouth hygiene. They can just put it in their mouth and that's it. That sounds so actually great. I love this product.
And sick. They're really fun to use, and honestly, it's like a party trick that you can share with your friends who may or may not desperately need your help. And because Breath Death is sponsoring my video, they are offering you, my audience, a fantastic deal. When you click the link in the description box down below, or the QR code right here on screen, and subscribe to the 8-tube pack, you will not only get 15% off and free shipping, but an extra 10% off just for—
Wait, but is it 1 tube for 1 time? Is it like 1 tube for 1 day or something? I don't get it. I'm sorry. Can I use it only once? 1 tube, 1 package for once?
for watching this video. It is an exclusive deal you are not just going to find anywhere else. So click the link and start your mission against bad breath today. Now, let's get back to the question at hand. Are women bigger gooners than men? So let's just get one thing out of the way right here and now. Women do not have higher sex drives than men. There will be people who try to convince you of this, and I'm sorry, they're just incredibly misinformed and don't understand how testosterone works. Now, a singular woman can absolutely have a higher sex drive than another singular man, but by and large, testosterone is where the horny lives, and men just have buckets loads more of that than we do, so it's just science. But women do have sex drives, and when they use them, they can be freaks, okay? It's just that—
That just reminds me of all the memes about she's ovulating or stuff like this. But is it actually true for women? Do we have any women here? Is it true that, you know, when you're ovulating, you feel more horny? I would say for me it's not true. I mean, I don't feel difference. But maybe it's different for other people. Because I know sometimes people refer to ovulation as, you know, like girl getting in heat or something, like some kind of dog. And you know, it's weird to hear it. I need to hear from your opinion.
Our sexual interests manifest in a different way than men's do. And when you actually lay it all out, it's actually pretty interesting, which is exactly why we're going to do that today.
Yeah.
And we might be able to finally explain why women read their smut while men watch it.
Watch it. Watch it. Fucking watch it.
But let's get right into the first rabbit hole I jumped.
Okay, listen. I believe women read their smut because if you read a book, you get a bit more into the feelings of the characters. And I think that's hot, you know? If you're gonna be reading a book and you have like 10 chapters of characters getting to know each other, bonding some kind of deep relationship, and then you can read how do they feel during the deed, I think that is hot. It's still a pornography, don't get me wrong, but it's hot this way because you know, what do they feel, what do they think? Yeah. I think that's the difference, actually.
Jumped into. The first question I explored was, how prevalent is BDSM amongst women? If you don't know what BDSM is, it's basically anything that falls under the umbrella of bondage, domination or discipline, sadism, and masochism. And there is a ton of data.
What? So? Wait, what? So here's satanism?
Domination or discipline, sadism, and masochism.
Oh, sadism, not satanism. Okay. My English is so not Englishing today. Oh my god. I thought for a second that, I heard satanism and I was like, do I know the wrong explanation, the wrong definition? Like, it's just my brain's being weird tonight.
And there is a ton of data on this. Across several sexual studies that I looked into, it looks like anywhere between 40 and 70% of women self-report enjoying BDSM in some variety. So women can be pretty spicy. To get extremely specific, this one study showed that 20% of—
She's showing a study? I need to sub. I love her already. Bro, I don't know why, but if someone is showing a study and a kind of research on the video, I love them already! Ah, I love it!
women enjoy being tied up or doing the tying. 30% enjoy spanking, and around 8% actually full-on go to BDSM parties or dungeons. No, I did not stutter. I said dungeons.
Did I stutter?
Some people pay extra for that. These studies also show—
How does it work? How does the dungeon work? How does it work? Are you going then and they tying you to the wall or something? It sounds like such a good idea for a prison escape room. You're being tied to the wall and you need to escape. I want to go to this kind of escape room. Oh my god.
Show that women are significantly more interested in being submissive than men are. Of those women under the BDSM umbrella, about 60% of them report enjoying being dominated or being in a submissive role. So you might be wondering, why? Why do so many women enjoy being manhandled and thrown around and told what to do? Well, because they finally get to turn off their brain. Because finally someone else is making all the decisions. And because there's something kind of hot about someone exercising a bit of authority. But that's enough of me telling on myself. Men may not realize it, but there are a lot of women with a wide range of fantasies. Many researchers actually believe that women have just as many, if not more, sexual fantasies than men. It's just that they're a lot less likely to actually act on them. And that's for a few different reasons. And this is kind of where purity culture and the societal pressure to
Bro, I'm learning so much today. I'm not even joking. I'm focused. I'm learning.
shame women for every expression of sexual interest they have is kind of ruining the fun for everybody. Most women have spent their entire lives getting called sluts or whores over the most menial thing that it's gotten to a point that a lot of us do not feel comfortable pursuing men sexually or expressing our sexual desires, so it just gets internalized. Well, until it doesn't. I mean, you can only really bottle something up for so long before it becomes a female-dominated $1.5 billion a year industry. Yep, I'm talking about romance books. Women's suppressed sexual fantasies have created a fiction genre that consistently outsells the ever-living life out of every other fictional genre out there. Romance—
But actually, wait, I started thinking about it, and that is so true. Like, actually, the thing about suppressing your desires is so true. I remember when I was still in schools, you know, and every time there was any kind of talk between girls about getting into relationship and stuff like this, I remember they were always avoiding any kind of sexual stuff in those conversations like a fire. Because if one would bring it up, it would get them, like, lower in the hierarchy. I don't know if it's a good way to say it, you know? But it feels like people wouldn't respect it at all. Other girls would give you disrespect only because of that, you know? And then I remember when guys were talking about this stuff, they were always talking, sometimes mostly even about it. You know, I feel like it's the kind of culture that even men have 1 kilogram of sex, people are like, wow, 1 kilogram of sex? Amazing. And if a girl has 1 kilogram of sex, everyone's like, why so much? Ugh. What do you wanna do with 1 kilogram of it? Ugh. Ew. Stuff like this, you know? I think that's how it is.
Novels outperform sci-fi, fantasy, thrillers, mystery, crime combined. So what the hell are women writing about in there that's got us all salivating like degenerates? A lot of people are going to tell you it's minotaurs and hockey-playing vampires, and sometimes it is. But honestly, these women aren't actually reading for the blood-red eyes or the cloven hooves or whatever the guy has. It's for the passion and closeness the two characters share.
Yeah, it's all about the feelings. All about the feelings between them. Okay. Listen, reading about 2 characters being emotionally close to each other, that's so hot. So hot. So hot. It's not about them having raw, weird positioned shrikes in their closet or something, okay? It's about their feelings. And that's it. I believe to this day, the hottest scene I ever read was, maybe it's because I have a lot of nostalgia to this book, but there was one scene like this in Siła Hygiene by Maria Faustnyde. I'm sorry for saying it in Polish. I'm sorry I don't know the English name of the book. It was a book I picked up when I was really young, and I have a lot of nostalgia to it. But it was one of the hottest scene, in my opinion, where 2 characters, you couldn't even read what they were doing. You could just read their feelings, not that they were shrexing themselves, okay? You could just read that they were close, and you would read only about their emotions, and that was so freaking hot. So hot!
Ever those 2 characters might be. So I really did a deep dive into what women say is the hottest fantasy they have, the thing that they look for the most when picking out romance novels. And between melting candles and blindfolds and entire swing sets, the number 1 hottest fantasy that almost every woman seems to express is a loyal partner who loves her. Who knew?
Yeah! Who would have guessed? Listen. That's it. That's the hottest that can be, okay? It doesn't matter what dynamic, it doesn't matter what kind of, I don't know, climate, it doesn't matter if it's in fantasy setting, modern setting, it doesn't matter. They just need to be close, they need to be loyal to each other, and that's it, nothing more. That's enough.
According to Leitenberg and Henning, 1995, in the Journal of Sex Research, women's most common fantasy themes involved simply feeling intensely desired or wanted, being pursued, or being irresistible to their partner. Spoiler alert, men actually reported that as their top fantasies too. Now, a lot of you might be thinking, okay, easy enough. Of course I'm attracted to my partner. My body literally shows her that I'm attracted to her. But when women write romance novels, you're never going to hear Asher propositioning Priscilla with, hey, you got time for a quickie? They're looking for Gomez and Morticia. Gomez doesn't just get right to business with Morticia.
Bro, I don't know who put out this narration into social media or into culture that being a nice man is bad. Listen, being a nice man, not only to you but to everyone, is probably the hottest thing ever. And I actually do mean it. Being a nice person and going after someone, or just, like sometimes doing random stuff, like bringing someone a flower saying it reminded you of them. That is so, I don't even want to say hot, it's just so attractive in general. This kind of small gestures, they are the best, you know? You just need to be nice. But not in a creepy way nice, okay? And not fakely nice, okay? You just need to be nice. Listen, you don't need to be nonchalant. You don't need to be cold to someone. You don't need to be like, oh, I will reply to you and then I will give you 3 days of silence. You just need to be nice. It's easy, okay? It's easy. But sometimes it may just not work out because relationship work that, you know, sometimes something just not gonna work out, okay? And that's it. And that's it. And that's it. Alright, alright, alright. Oh my god. There's a mess. The difference in creep and attractive is if they are hot. No. 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 Because physical appearance is really subjective. What's gonna be hot for you ain't gonna be hot for someone else. Someone will prefer if someone will be smaller. Someone else will like their partner a bit bigger, and that is their preference. Someone will prefer if their partner will shit talk them because they're into it. Okay? Someone else will prefer their partner to basically be the sweetest person alive. And that's preference. And that is just the preference. The same goes for attractiveness. You can be attractive to one person and won't be attractive to someone else. And that's it. And that's it. And also, I would like to say that basically, if you think that there is that much difference between attractive and not attractive guy, I would say you are completely wrong. Because when it comes to males, I would say the standard for a male appearance is really low. And I mean it compared to females. Because if you're a girl, you're learning from the moment you basically can understand anything around you that you need to be pretty, and the entire world, everyone around you will basically remind you about it every singular possible time. And because of it, well, there's a lot more pressure on girls to be pretty than it is on males. And I would say because of it, there's not even that much pressure on males to be pretty. Because I don't know how to even explain it to convey my thoughts. But for a pretty long time, the only job girl had was to be pretty, okay? In a relationship. Because they didn't expect anything else from her. And it just, even right now, when women are working, when women are pursuing their careers, etc., it's still there. And that's it, bro. And it's not that girls are their own harsh critics, no. I don't want to say something like from my own experience because it won't be too objective, it will be solely subjective. But in this case, I believe I should say it. For example, I can say that since I was young, I mean, since I was like 8, 9 years old, I remember comments from males in my family, for example, about the fact that, oh, I don't wear short trousers, for example. I don't wear shorts. I only wear long trousers. I don't show my legs, and that is unattractive. I was a literal kid when I was hearing this kind of stuff. And I would like to say it's normal. Like, I was speaking with other girlfriends, and hearing this kind of random stuff about literally anything in your appearance, you could have a messy hair and they're gonna point it out. Maybe your hair was a bit too short, they're gonna point it out. Maybe in Poland, I would say I had something like, stuff like if you had a bit too pale skin, they're gonna point it out that it looks unnatural, it looks too pure, it looks deadly. Stuff like this, you know? And I would say most of the women hear this kind of stuff since they are really, really young. And that's just common. That's how it is. And if you didn't experience it, then you cannot say women don't experience it because you just don't know about it. Because you don't experience it. I would say it's the kind of field that, women should say out loud if it's true for them or not. But from my experience and from experience of my friends, that's how it is. Here we go. Let's come back to the video.
He savors that woman. He really smells the wine before he even starts to take a sip. You know what I mean? All right, yeah. I'll just say it. Foreplay, people. What I have learned is that if you could get a woman to genuinely believe that she is beautiful, she will be a complete freaking freak after that. So it goes, make her feel loved and safe and beautiful, and then The second highest most reported fantasy is power dynamics. Like I said, a lot of women report wanting to be dominated. Now, know your audience. Don't just try this on anybody. But for the women who do enjoy this dynamic, it's not about surrendering power, because it's still consensual. It's about shifting the power dynamic so she can unload cognitively. A lot of women get what's called decision fatigue. They make so many decisions and so many choices that they just want to not. You tell her what to do. But also because when done correctly, this deeply intensifies the feeling of being desired that so many women crave. It puts a certain focus and deliberate attention on only her that makes her feel exclusively wanted, which plays into two of the other most commonly reported fantasies from women. One being emotional intensity, and two, being chosen over others. And these two desires have been consistent forever. Evolutionary psychologists have consistently found a link between women wanting to be exclusive and chosen over other potential partners and an increase in their sexual arousal. They want to feel like the top dog, man! And I've got to imagine this is even...
And that's why we have so many pygmies. But that's okay, that's fine. But listen, I believe making your partner feel desired is the most important thing, and that's it. If you can make them feel desired, I think then it's over. I want to say you won, but you know, there was nothing to win in the first place, okay? But that means you will have the best time with them. If they feel desired, they will turn into total freaker, because they know you accept everything in them. And that is so cute in my opinion. So cute.
Kind of similar in poly relationships, where even if they allow you to date and sleep with other people, they still want you focused in and locked in on them while you're together. So top female fantasies so far: being loved, being chosen, being exclusive. What's our next top fantasy? Well,
I'm so sorry, but the fact that top 3 is being exclusive, it seems so sad to me somehow. Like, what do you mean being exclusive? Isn't that the base minimum or something? I mean, isn't it the base minimum to date only one person at a time? We ain't talking about poly relationship. We're talking about the most common relationship, I believe. Isn't that the base minimum to, I don't know, don't cheat or something?
role-playing. My entire Dungeons and Dragons audience is just like,
It's gotta be!
No, but seriously, pay attention, you guys might actually shine here. Because I even dove so deep onto this subject that I even made a list of women's top role-playing archetypes. So once again, this is where we see power dynamics come into play. Because preferred role-playing scenarios usually involve professional versus civilian, structured authority versus the rule breaker, order versus surrender. But another one is the stranger or first encounter roleplay, where you pretend that you either don't know each other or this is your first time meeting. There's the rescuer protector fantasy, where you need to save her from something and prioritize her. Or the forbidden relationship, where it's not supposed to happen. Women love this stuff because it's narrative driven, and a lot of women's deepest fantasies are context-based. And when you look really deeply at them, a lot of these fantasies are being desired and craved, usually by a dominant figure. So you might be wondering, Lauren, if all women really want is a—
Wait, so it does come back to the being picked, right? So someone is above you and they pick you out of everyone, something like this. Okay.
kind, loving, loyal man. Why do so many romance novels end up looking like that?
Was there a unicorn? What is this? Tender wings of this— What is this? Why is he a grandpa from KFC? A Colonel Sanders novella. What is this? Does KFC has their own smut book? What?
Well, for the same reason men can't watch normal smut anymore either. It's because 90% of the time we're choosing smut over each other. We're not communicating as humans, and instead we're just letting the capitalist rage bait factors designed to sell the smut in the most dramatic way take over. That's why all of your smut is like stepsisters and shit, and all of ours is like ogres and dragons and shit. Until men and women learn to communicate.
Okay. But why? No. Listen. I just need to understand both sides right now because I don't totally get both sides, okay? Why a Minotaur? And why the stepsister? Why? They tell so much, and at the same time, they tell me absolutely nothing. Why? I need to understand it. That is something that I personally don't get, like, totally don't get. But why? Why? Both of them sound so stupid to me at the same time.
Again, we will never have nice things. Or at least the nice things we have won't quickly snowball into degenerative slop as fast. Because at the end of the day, between the whips and chains and step siblings and lacrosse-playing werewolves, the heart of what men and women's core desires are actually incredibly similar. Across every single study, men and women report the same innate desires. The desire to be wanted. The desire to be chosen. The desire to have their attraction.
But why? By the Minotaur or by your stepsister? Why? What's into those two tropes? I mean, I'm trying to think about it. What's so special about a Minotaur? Maybe they always have some, like specific physical appearance, they are built different or something. I don't understand it, but still, okay. I cannot even say someone preference. What do you mean someone preference is a mythical creature? What do you mean? But the stepsister? What's the point of the stepsister? What's the point of the stepsister? In Minotaur, I can think, it is a mythical creature. It doesn't exist. It's crazy, It would never happen in real life, so it would stay only as a fantasy. Maybe stuff like this, I don't know. But the stepsister? I don't get this one. Like, for this one, I cannot even try to make up some idea why it would be attractive. I just don't get it.
Validated and the desire to feel safe enough to let go. We just clearly have different ways of expressing and engaging in that. So I've marinated a lot in this at this point, and ultimately I do think that I've kind of come up with a reasonable solution for how men and women can tap into each other's innermost hedonism. So without further ado, here it is, the Dadvocate's formal list of how to best goon together. After all, a couple that edges together stays together. That's what I always say. I've never said that. No, but seriously, I have found that men and women work best sexually together when men understand that context, not just physical stimulus, is what actually fuels a woman's desire. When women recognize that arousal doesn't just self-generate, you have to actually communicate what you want. When both of them understand that fantasy is a language, not an obligation, and this keeps the pressure off of everybody. And from everything that I've learned across everything that I've studied, the healthiest couples don't kink shame. It doesn't mean they hop on board with absolutely every idea their partner suggests. No one ever does. It just means that they don't make their partner feel like absolute ass for suggesting.
Bro, I believe, oh my god, if you are in a relationship and someone kink shamed you, that would be such a killer for me. Like, imagine you opening up to your signifier other, right? About some of your desires, and they start acting disgusted by it. That would be so sad. I don't think it depends on the kink. I mean, listen, there are some disgusting kinks in the world, right? But I think just saying it's not for you is better than just acting disgusted. If this kink is morally green, morally okay, so you ain't doing harm to anyone with this kink, alright? Kink shaming in a relationship isn't so bad. because someone is actually just opening up to you. And maybe just not something you would like to. Maybe you just don't want to do it and it's completely okay. But I think shaming someone for this, ew.
Suggesting it. What matters is that fantasies should always be treated as collaborative invitations, not ultimatums, and definitely not silent expectations. And the more I researched this, the more I started to wonder how many people are out there having needlessly bad sex because they just don't know what to ask or mention. Women still aren't figuring out that men aren't mind readers, and men still aren't figuring out that women aren't just sexual vending machines that dispatch arousal on command. I can tell y'all right now, the happiest women with their deepest sexual fantasies fulfilled are the ones who literally speak it into existence. No waiting around, no passive-aggressive hints, no tests. And the happiest men with access to the deepest depths of their woman's sexuality are the ones who figured out that sex isn't just about friction. It's about atmosphere. And the people having the most insane coitus of all time are the ones who simply learned how to work together to maximize their experience. After all, it's called a freak show, not a freak solo, people. Anyway, I think that's about all I've got to say on that one. While it may not be safe to say that women want sex as much or as often as men, it's definitely safe to say that we have incredibly similar fantasies and desires. It's also safe to say that both men and women are capable of becoming degenerate gooners. Anyone can goon, just as our forefathers always wanted.
Gooners, let's unite. Let's unite together. Gooners. Ah! Oh, I was supposed not to scream today. I'm so sorry.
You've made it this far. I really want to know what you guys think. Was this video even remotely informative and entertaining, or do you hate everything that I said and hate me and hope I stub my toe? Was there—
It was actually informative, I would say. I learned quite a lot of it about women. Stuff that I never knew about before. But in the end, I think, you know, the one message we can all take out from it is just communicate, people. Just ask questions. Just say what you want. Just say it without pressuring the other person, okay? That's the best you can go with.
Is there anything I forgot to mention that's worthy of a shout? And are there any other subjects that you would love to see me do another deep dive on? Since you've made it this far, you definitely owe it to yourself to spank that like button, gently choke the subscribe if you're new here, and hey, maybe even tie up that notification bell if you want to know when I'm live. And if you need even more Dadvocate, I highly recommend joining either my Patreon or YouTube membership, where you will get early access to videos, ad-free members-only live, members-only content, access to the Discord, and so many other awesome things. If you don't know, when I'm not making YouTube videos, I'm actually traveling capital to capital to advocate for family court reform, really getting my boots on the ground and doing something that I've always believed in. So your support absolutely helps me do that. But for now, that's about all I've got for you. Thank you so much again to Breath Death for sponsoring this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!
Yeah! Bro, I absolutely love this girl already. I absolutely love her. It was my first video I saw of her, but I need to say, I absolutely love it. I do love it. I do love it. Thank you for watching this one with me. Thank you.